Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing great. A huge welcome to all of you new subscribers. I'm just thrilled to see my subscriber count go up, and I do hope that a lot of people who have recently subscribed to me are actually foreign trained lawyers, because that would mean that the content that I am putting up now is actually informative and helpful for a lot of you. I hope that this video as well you find extremely helpful and informative, and it should be able to help you at least start your process of getting licensed in Canada. So let's go. So I did start this series specifically aimed at NCA and how to become a lawyer in Canada. The first video, of course I will link it in the description box below. The first video talked about NCA, what it is, the common myths about NCA exams, and so on. Second video, I did interview Mr. Ammar Ahmad. Again, I will link that video in the description box below. He is in Calgary in Alberta. He is a barrister and solicitor in both Alberta and British Columbia, and he has been teaching NCA classes since many years, and he has helped so many people become licensed lawyers in Canada. Of course, it was an insightful interview. If any of you have not watched it, of course, again, I am linking it in the description box below. Do comment and do like, share if you did find that video helpful as well. You have read, of course, the title of the video. You know that this video is all about NCA, the assessment process. So the assessment process is extremely important because this process determines how many exams you actually have to appear for. So we all know by now, hopefully, that NCA has 5 core subjects. So constitutional law, administration law, professional responsibility, criminal law, and of course foundations of Canadian law. And apart from this, there's also an extra module on legal research and writing, and this was a recent addition. This was not a compulsory thing before, I think, 2022. So let's just get into the assessment process. So talking about the application, it's a very straightforward, simple application. Of course, how all applications are, the first thing it will ask you is your name, your date of birth, address, contact information, all of those basic things. Then it does ask you your pre-legal education, and then it will ask you for your legal education. So a lot of people in India, because that's where I'm from, so that is what I'm aware of. I don't know if this happens in other countries as well, but we have a dual degree system in most of the colleges. So it could be BA LLB, BCom LLB, BBA LLB. So that just means that you're combining 2 degrees, right? So it is a 5-year integrated course. So for such an education, you have to go in your legal education tab and say BA LLB, and then list the information like that. Your college needs to be an approved law school by the Bar Council of India. So like I am from Army Institute of Law, but this name does not show up on the Bar Council list. So even though it's a great college and all, but it's affiliated with Punjabi University. So you have to mention Punjabi University. You can't say Army Institute of Law, because you will get a defect. So I know many people might ask, I did not give the bar exam in India. I was not a member of the bar. So now let's talk about the order in which we are doing your assessment application. The first thing you do is you make your NCA file. Secondly, you fill in your application and you attach your resume. Third thing that you do is pay for your NCA application. And don't get stressed that, oh, like I don't have my transcripts attached. How do I pay this? How will this make sense? The thing is that after you are done with your application and you have attached your resume with it, your application is ready to go, which means that you have to pay, and that is how you will get your reference number, and this reference number is what you will use to get your transcripts. And that's why it's very important to be completely done with your NCA application and then apply for your transcript. So how does one link the transcript with the application? So basically there are 2 ways of doing this. The first way is that NCA website gives you a list of softwares, I'd say, through which they accept electronic transcripts. Now, wonderfully, Punjabi University is not using any of those things. So I had to go the traditional route and have them create hard copies of my transcripts and courier that to Ottawa from India. And that's also okay. That's not a big deal. There is this address of the Ottawa office where you have to send your transcript. I'll flash it here. And so this is the address where you have to send your transcript if you are sending it by mail. Now you have to attach your reference number with this transcript. So when you apply for a transcript, they will ask you, right, what is this for? What is the reference number of whatever you want to send your transcript for? So that is where you put in your NCA file number, and then when that package reaches the Ottawa office and they are done assessing your transcript, they know that, oh, this transcript is for this application and the two are merged. So honestly, if you are from one of those universities that uses the electronic transcript systems that NCA has approved, it's great. I'm actually jealous of you. But if you are somebody who has to take the traditional route and send a physical copy by mail, that's also okay. Now let's talk about the resume. So the resume is extremely important because it needs to reflect your work experience. It's extremely important because you need to show that, okay, I have this work ex, I have this education, and this is the kind of job that I've done, and these are the work responsibilities that I have undertaken. So I will talk about my resume. There is no set format that, oh, I have to use this XYZ font or this spacing or all of those things. It's just that there are some very basic rules when it comes to CVs. The first thing is that the font should not be fancy. No italics, no like fancy fonts. It should be as simple as Times New Roman or Calibri or something. Very simple, clean fonts which are easy to read. Now, secondly, what I mean by easy to read is that it needs to be like points and short, structured sentences. Secondly, the CV needs to be very precise, and it needs to have a point. Everything needs to have a point, and the point that your CV should make is that this is who I am, this is what I've been doing for the past 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Even if you're a fresh graduate, list your internships, list your research papers, list your moot court competitions, list every single thing that you can think of, and then by the process of elimination, think that, oh, maybe debating in the first year of law school is not that important to mention in the resume. Maybe it's not going to link any like professional responsibility with this thing. Analyze your own resume, and then you can remove certain things which you think might not be that important. Okay, so I finally found my CV. Right on top is my name and contact information. Then there's a professional summary paragraph, following which immediately is my work experience. So it's very important that the first thing you do is mention your office name, and then when you started working over there. Then for me, I did 7 points of what my responsibilities are, where every single point was just one line each. And then of course my work experience in India, same format, the name of the employer, and then the time of employment, like from which year to which year, or if you remember the dates, great, do that. And then a few points, like literal bullet points on your work responsibilities. So I did that, and then I also added my internships. Now a few people told me, don't add your internships, that's fine, no need, but like that was a part of my professional growth, and that's why I added my internships. Same format with the internships, and I did have this under my work experience tab itself. The name of the employer, when you were there, and then 7, 6, 5 points explaining your job, your responsibilities, what you did at that position. Following this, I put in my academic credentials. So I put in Bachelor of Laws, BA LLB 5-year integrated course in Punjab, India, and my year of graduation, which is 2017. And then I also added a few additional certifications that I've done because I have a B1 diploma in French, so I did want to add that as well. And then I had written 3 research papers in law school, only 2 of them were published. So I mentioned all of those as well. And in the end, I just put in a tab for my languages. So I did English, Hindi, Punjabi, and French, which was a working limited proficiency. And I also added a tab for references, which just said available on request. So this is what my CV looks like. It's actually a little less than 2 pages, which I feel is the optimum length. You are not sacrificing, you're not like getting rid of things that you actually want to mention, but you are not mentioning so much that your CV just becomes a mess and just not enough for what you want to use it for. So that was my resume, and of course there is a tab in your application where you have to attach a PDF. Now that is it. People at the NCA office are so helpful and active that you can email them and they do respond to you. So like for me, I was so worried if my transcript has even reached Ottawa or not, because it had been 3 weeks and there was no confirmation from the university. So I was extremely worried, and I did send an email and they got back to me the next day and they told me that they just received my package and they will contact me once the assessment is done. So I think I have covered all the topics related to this. In case you still have any questions, please comment, please let me know. You can find me on Instagram, DM me, it's all good. And yeah, do like, share, subscribe, as I say at the end of every single video that I make. I'm waiting for your feedback on this video, and I'll be back very soon with another video.